Hello and welcome to episode number 27 of AEW Rise to the Top, where we take control of AEW and we are trying to get them to be the biggest wrestling company in the world. Last week we had a 72 show, which was pretty decent. Some good match ratings in there. You know, that bloody Pac, Pentagon and Dragon Lee against Wardlow in the Hybrid 2. Chef's kiss, lovely. Let's just jump straight into the episode. So Dynamite opens with a video being played showing events that took place last week after Dynamite went off the air. A cameraman is running through the car park, and on the floor we see Hangman Page bleeding. A doctor comes out to check on Page, but he pushes him away and limps off. On commentary, JR says that Page has requested time later to discuss these events. The Old Friend storyline has automatically advanced. It's got a 67 rating. Page finally starting to push the ratings a little bit. It's about gosh darn time, isn't it? Let's move on to the first matchup of the evening, which is FTR in their first title open challenge, taking on SCU, Frankie Kazarian, and Christopher Daniels. So, in a good match, lasting 18 and a half minutes. Long old match. It is indeed FTR who pick up the victory, retaining the AEW World Tag Team Championships, making defense number 3 of those belts, and getting a 71 match rating in the meantime, which is lovely. 72 and a 74 for FTR. 59 Christopher Daniels. I might have to rotate him out of in-ring performances. He's really starting to decline. And a 68 for Frankie Kazarian. I'm guessing one of these is going to be a penalty for declining physical ability. There we go. Inconsistency, poor momentum. And the greatest team in the world storyline advanced with this segment and gained heat. Christopher Daniels, all have loads of great chemistry all around the shop. Amazing. I should say we're coming at you live in front of 6,310 people at the RP Funding Center. Now, let's move on to the next segment of the show, where we have just a little quick FTR celebrate in the ring. Big tag team victory, celebrating with the belts. I put that as a Steal the Show match as well, I should probably mention. So, I thought those 4 guys could really go for it, and it seems like it's paid off. Worked out quite well. So, yeah, FTR celebrate in the ring with their titles. It gets a 65 rating. Just a little quick segment in there, just to sort of, so I don't go from match to match to match to match to match, because that's what was kind of happening in this episode. Anyway, next up we have the Dark Order, Mr. Brody Lee, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson taking on the team of Max Stardom, Leo Bryan, and Suge D. Suge D has debuted his fun babyface gimmick, and it got an initial rating of adequate, which is wonderful. So in a poor match, it is the Dark Order who pick up the victory when Mr. Brody Lee pinned Leo Bryan with a running big boot. And in terms of in-ring work, Mr. Brody Lee was head and shoulders above everyone else, which is true. 68 there for him. 51 for Stu Grayson, 48 for Evil Uno, 40 for Max Stardom, 30 for Suge D, and a 28 for Leo Bryan. It's got a 47 rating, just basically a quick squash trios match. Segment was penalised for odd heel face combination. Basically, I signed Max Stardom and Leo Bryan to one night deals, and I accidentally put them as heels when I went to put them as faces because I forgot who they would be going up against. And then Suge D is a babyface, so it is a weird combination. So I'm not too annoyed about that. I knew that was going to come. What is that? A Weasley underdog gimmick. Good for you. Anyone else? Max Stardom gives a small boost to star quality during matches and angles. Good for you, Suge. Pineapple Pete. Let's move on to the next segment, where we have Maria Manic, the number 1 contender for Britt Baker's Women's World Championship, taking on the former champion, the Native Beast, Nyla Rose. And it is Maria Manic who picks up the victory in just under 10 minutes with a chokehold. It's got a 42 rating. Very nice to see. Nyla Rose had a performance of 33. Maria Manic had a 43, which is beautiful. The up-and-comer storyline has advanced with this segment. Really good. Segment rating again penalised for awful heel combination. Maria Manic was penalised for an awful gimmick, not an evil gimmick. Inexperienced Nyla Rose and inconsistency. But yeah, not too bad, really. A 42 rating is pretty decent. And Maria Manic has knocked off a former women's world champion. She's really trying to make a name for herself in this women's division before she takes on Britt Baker in a few weeks' time. So let's move on to the next segment. Oh, that's so beautiful. So beautiful. So Kenny Omega comes out to the ring with his new over-the-top introduction, much like in real life. You know, the wonderful the wonderful thing they're doing. It's that, basically. So he grabs a microphone and starts to run down Page, saying that he never deserved to lace up Omega's boots, let alone tag with him. Kenny says that he carried the team throughout their whole reign, and once Page was pinned to lose the belts, he knew that his charity work was done. Kenny starts to laugh crazily again, mocking how Page let himself get attacked last week. So this is the first time that Omega has referenced Hangman Page at all since losing those belts. This is the first time that he's talked about it. First time anything between these two men has been discussed by Kenny Omega. So yeah, Omega is laughing maniacally, going crazy, when suddenly Riho's music starts to play again, and she runs down to the ring. She runs up to Kenny and starts to plead with him to stop what he's doing, that this isn't the Kenny that she knows. And you can see on her face it's breaking her heart. Kenny looks frustrated, turns, and walks to the back again, leaving Riho alone in the ring. This gets a 71 rating. The Fallen Mental storyline has advanced with this segment. Kenny Omega was a real star. Riho was underwhelming. Unfortunate. Kenny Omega worked the crowd well. Angle got the crowd hotter. Lots of good stuff. Riho was penalised for poor momentum. But hopefully, segments like this will boost that up. And in the future, so we've got something going on here between Kenny Omega and Riho. The Fallen Mental, as the storyline is called. Riho trying to plead Kenny to come back to the light side of the wrestling force. You know what I mean. So yeah, a decent thing. I'd made that one 5 minutes, and it didn't seem to say that it was too long or anything, which is good. So yeah, let's move on to the next segment, where we have the Hybrid 2 taking on Private Party in tag team action. And it is Private Party who pick up the victory in 15 minutes and 8 seconds when Isaiah Cassidy pinned Jack Evans with a gin and juice. Mark Quinn getting a 58, Cassidy getting a 61, Evans getting a 52, and Angelico getting a 44. A nice, pretty standard, middle of the show match. 62 rating. Any penalties to come out for this? Mark Quinn for inconsistency, then Jack Evans for a bunch of stuff. And Angelico is a not very good heel, apparently. Fair enough. I don't know much about the Hybrid 2 pre AEW, and they've not really set the world alight in AEW. I mean, there's been injuries and stuff like that. But I don't know, they're good in the ring, but they've never really sort of clicked with me, but hence why they lose pretty much every time I use them. But yeah, so Private Party picking up a nice victory in this matchup. And now we move on. Oh, god damn it, that's terrible. To Hikaru Shida taking on Big Swole. Former AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida is defeated by Dark Order member Big Swole. It's only got a 33 rating, which is really bad. I thought the women's matches were sort of getting, boosted up a little bit now. The crowd were turned off by having a match outside the pre-show between workers they don't have any investment in. That seems a bit harsh. Cooled the crowd a little. It's a bit annoying. The Dark Order Grows storyline advanced. Luckily, it didn't, lose heat. Shida had a 42 and Big Swole had a 35. Segment rating was penalised for being between workers the fans consider unimportant. Oh, that's where that comes from. Okay, man, she was a women's champion and they still think she's unimportant. Brutal. Anyway, let's move on to the next segment, where we have MJF coming down to the ring with a mic. He climbs in the ring and he talks about last week. He talks about trying to attack Tony Khan and how he's received a letter from Khan. He pulls out the letter and starts to read. The letter outlines a fine that MJF will have to pay, as well as making it clear that any more conduct like that and MJF will be fired. MJF closes the letter and talks about how it's strange that when something affects Khan, he's very quick to respond, but when a wrestler, an employee, is trying to find an answer to a very important question, he's silent. Max says that he thought this company was supposed to be different, that Tony was going to be different than other wrestling billionaires, but he guessed he was wrong. MJF throwing a bit of shade at both Vince McMahon and Tony Khan. That, again, only getting a 51. Lack of anything interesting. How long did I make this? 6 minutes. Maybe I should have probably gone shorter. It's just low morale of MJF, which is really annoying because I've given him time off. I've given him bonuses and he's still angry. Fingers crossed. So the TNT Championship storyline advanced. We still have not heard either way if Shawn Spears is back, what's going on with the TNT Championship. Who knows what's happening. Hopefully we'll find out in the weeks to come. Next up we have Julia making her AEW Dynamite debut. She debuted last week on Dark. Put her in the episode of Dark, sort of, to get the whole, poor thing out of the way gimmick. I was planning on just using her on Dark for a while, but then I had a change of heart and thought Julia can come straight in to Dynamite. Obviously, with Stardom in real life, she's pretty good from what I've seen. I haven't seen very much, but from what I've seen, she looks really good. So it is Julia taking on the Bunny, and of course, Julia does pick up the victory in her debut match. In 12 minutes 46 by submission. I did look up her finishes, but I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head. But it looks brutal. It looks horrible, which is why I got her to win by submission, because it looked incredible. So Julia had a performance of 46, the Bunny had a 47. Overall, this got a 45. Julia was penalised for holding back, the Bunny was penalised for holding back, the Bunny was penalised for poor momentum. But yeah, a decent match. I think this... Oh, God, I've really undersold this. This was the main event. I just remembered. This was the main event match. There is another segment to come after it, but this was the main event. It was a big Julia debut victory against the Bunny. Still very young. I think she's like 26, 25, 26, something like that in-game now. And the Bunny putting over the younger talent. And another bolster to the women's division. Now let's move on to the final segment. Here we go. So Hangman comes down to the ring in bad shape. He's limping and still clearly hurt after the attack last week. He says that he's glad that Kenny can finally talk about their tag title range. He calls Kenny out for saying he was the weak link of the team. Page acknowledges that he wasn't at his best, but it was a dark time and he just needed his friend. He challenges Kenny again for the AEW World Championship when Kenny Omega's music starts to play. Hangman turns toward the ramp ready to see his former friend, but he's jumped from behind by Cody, Matt and Nick Jackson. They lay into Page and reveal that they were the people who attacked him last week. Huge shock. Page is hit with superkick after superkick until he can barely stand. Cody hits a final crossroads, leaving a bloodied Page laying on the mat looking up at the Elite. You can hear Page faintly asking why, with a tear running down his cheek as we fade to black. 83. Let's go. Beautiful way to end the show. The old friends storyline has advanced with this segment and gained heat, which is lovely. Performance of Cody was fantastic. Hangman Page didn't do well. Cody did a masterful job. Wonderful. You love to see it. Hangman was penalised for improvising badly, but he improvised well earlier, so I'm kind of going to keep him unscripted. I don't know if that sort of makes any difference to how... to the skill progression. I'm not really sure how that works. But the segment rating was also penalised due to the old friends' low storyline heat, which hopefully will increase slightly there. How many minutes was that? That was 7 minutes. So yeah, beautiful. Beautiful way to end the show. It's getting you back next week. Let's finish off this show and let's see what rating we've got. Once again, same as last week. If it's above 70... I'd be happy, but the match quality on this episode wasn't too great, so I think it might be sort of like mid-60s. And there we go. 64. Not a great show. That Big Swole Hikaru Shida match is the first yellow we've seen in a while. 64. Yeah, the show lost us popularity in 17 regions. It did increase our popularity in 14 regions. So not a terrible show, but very much a middle of the way leading up to a pay-per-view show. Bookended by Hangman Page. Getting attacked at the start, getting attacked at the end. Poor Hangman. But yeah, some decent stuff in there. Also, I was very proud of this one here. Kenny is the gloat, because it's like the goat, but he was gloating. So Kenny is the gloat. Very good stuff. Anyway, let's finish the show. Let's see how we got on against NXT, although I think they've probably beaten us this week. We'll check the emails, we'll check the news, all that kind of stuff, and then we'll end the episode. I'll be back very soon. Okay, so we are back. So let's see how we got on. So we got a 64 with a 1.75 TV rating. NXT had a 74, 10 higher, and a 2.05 rating. A lot better than us. Let's be honest. God, Jesus Christ, look at that main event, 85. Adam Cole defeating Cameron Grimes. Triple H doing well. The Ensemble defeated the Posse. Raul Mendoza, Matt Riddle, and Dominic Dijakovic defeated Timothy Thatcher and the Singh Brothers. Again, man, they had some really good matches in this one. Yeah, and again, let's look at how much we get destroyed by Ring of Honor. Oh, an 80. What a shock. They actually beat us in viewers this week as well, which isn't too great. All Japan, a 50 rating, and Stardom getting a 56. So yeah, not too shabby. Let's go through the news. Fatima won the Ring of Honor Pure title. Very nice. Impact apparently looking to extend Johnny Swinger's contract. Also Ring of Honor again signing new places. Hanson, or Ivar now, Eric and Ivar, has signed another contract, and Ross Von Erich is signed with... Both the Von Erichs have extended their deals with MLW because I was trying to sign them. I was trying to sign them both, and so that they got their contracts extended, which is annoying, and now they're exclusive with MLW. What can you do? Okay, so let's look at the email. So Big Swole's contract is ending. We'll get on that in a second. Drug test fees and the TV rating, nothing too special there. Okay, so we got Big Swole's contract here. Let's try and negotiate. Let's try and get her on an exclusive written contract. Let's go for 6,500 a month for 2 years. Nice long contract. She can expect a bonus of 10% per event. That will be covered, and she can get 20% of her merchandise. There we go. Okay, that's going to end this episode. If there's anything you want to see, like within the save, let me know. Maybe like WWE champions, things like that, NXT champions, Impact champions, stuff like that. Let me know, and I'll do that in an upcoming episode. But if you enjoyed the episode, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, it's always nice to see the comments and hear the feedback. So yeah, like I said, anything you want to see, let me know. And we'll be back for the next episode very soon. See you later. Bye.